everybody. It is a Wednesday here with Longshore McKnight. So glad you are with us here today. Same setup as yesterday. I'm at network control, Barry, on the road with Troy basketball. And I got to tell you, I'm a little groggy today, a little tired, stayed up late, some driveway time last night. Oh, I mean, I got the coffee brewing today.
It ain't your fault. It ain't your fault. It was a perfect storm last night. John loves network control. Ever since I think he saw that one time on like Mary Tyler Moore show or something like that. Hey, network control. I like that. I like the way that sounds. I'm in Jonesboro, Arkansas for the second straight day. Troy basketball plays against Arkansas State tonight at 7 o'clock. It was a perfect storm last night. Auburn was playing in men's basketball at home. Now, it was an 8 o'clock start time.
That was tough.
Alabama plays at 8 o'clock tonight. That's the way it goes. But
I got out, Barry. There was no, Law and Order marathon on BBC America last night. So,
already, our guys, solidarity with you guys. Way Offsides Jeff says, hey, John, you need me to drop you off some 7 Brew? John,
that was good stuff,
both
Jeff.
of
Thank
those
you.
last Friday. John, I mean, he mainlined that stuff. But, Auburn was playing men's basketball last night at home, Neville Arena, sellout crowd. As John sees it, Aub's everywhere. Trying to keep them going to 0-2 in the SEC. Stephen Pearl, Bruce's son, big one for him. Big lead for Auburn, playing well. Here comes Texas A&M. They take a late lead. Less than a second to go. Auburn inbounds it. And kid gets a shot, 35 feet, absolute prayer. It was 90-88, absolute prayer at the very end. And it goes. Place goes nuts. John's out in John, during the timeout, while they get everything set up over there, John is sprinting out to his car.
I was already in the car.
Okay, good.
I was already in the car.
Auburn was trailing by 2 points, 0.6 of a second left on the clock. Auburn inbounded it to Keyshawn Murphy, spun and fired, 35-footer at the buzzer. It goes. Place goes absolutely nuts. Band's playing War Eagle, and everybody is, pouring out onto the. But no. Here comes the officials. They conferred at the scorer's table for a couple of minutes. Crowd with a hushed sense of anticipation. And the officials determined that the ball was still in Keyshawn Murphy's hands, on his fingertips. I've seen the clips and everything. I mean, honestly, John, if he had clipped his fingernails that morning, that shot would have gone off, because the length of his fingernails was what it was. Stephen Pearl, not happy. After it's all over with, couple of minutes, the referees come off of the midcourt table and they go and it did not.
Had to have a police escort off the floor.
They were throwing things. That's not
good. You don't want to do that.
I did see the.
It was a heartbreaker. I feel for my Auburn friends over there. It was.
You were in your driver's seat of your car listening to Andy, and I didn't get a chance to listen to Andy.
I will have to tell you, Barry,
it did not meet with his approval, I would say.
The loyal viewers and listeners of this fine program, believe me, they sent me the content. So if you need it, I'll be more than happy to pass it along. I will say this, though. The little lady's going, what's up with your phone? I mean, come on. And I didn't put it on silent. I said, honey, we got a lot of loyal viewers and listeners that are making sure we have the proper content for tomorrow's show.
Yeah.
It was epic. I got to tell you. I mean, I don't know how many awards Andy has won, but this is one he needs to submit.
Yes. Good stuff, huh? Yeah. Well,
but man, I'm telling you this, and I had it on my phone so I could see it as I'm listening to Andy in the driveway. Now, I got to tell you, I don't know who this other guy is with Andy doing color. I just,
Randall
my mother told me if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. So I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah, I like him. I like a great guy. But
no, I don't want to laugh. I don't want to act like I'm amused by this, but
he can't help it. Yeah. He can't help it.
It was a tough one. I mean, all my Auburn friends out there, I feel for you. I mean, it could happen tonight at Memorial Gym. And is it still Memorial Gym in Nashville?
Yes, yes. Could happen.
So, tough one. I mean, A&M gets a lead early. Auburn gets a big double-digit lead later on. It evaporates. And then now I've seen the tape, as you have as well. I mean, it's a fingernail distance. It's tough. It's a game of inches, they say.
I mean, it's like the Zapruder film of the Kennedy assassination. Those guys are going frame by frame. Basketball is right here. Does that mean it's touch? And again, it's across the court, upstairs, and all that kind of stuff. Is the ball touching it? I say it is. Let's get out of here, And it was not. It was not taken well, and they were throwing water bottles. I did see the clip of the guy tossed his drink over his shoulder at the refs as they came off the court. I was going to bring that guy up. I don't know him or anything like that. But again, they had to have a police escort going off. Crowd's not happy and everything. They are there was some unseemly behavior by the Auburn crowd. But the guy, this is when they're going into the tunnel, with the fans up on either side. The guy knew that if he threw something at him, that he'd get busted.
Yeah, that ain't smart.
And that there'd be the video, and he'd get like barred from ever coming to an Auburn game again. So he had his cup of something, and he's got his back to the referees, and he throws it over his shoulder. They're never going to be able to find out who he is because you never saw his face or anything like that. And but heck, if they had enough video evidence to turn that shot down, then they had enough evidence to find that guy. But it was a great. I mean, his aim was great over the shoulder with his back to the referee.
Impressive.
He didn't get him he didn't get him flush, but he got him over there. That's I'm not glorifying that or anything, but
I was wondering. I'm a little shocked here, Barry, just looking at the headlines, because my first thought was, has Stephen Pearl already called the SEC office? It's being reported at Auburn Undercover. That actually happened last night. So wow. Is anybody at the SEC office at 10:30 at night? Who knows? But
they had people working. Those are the ones who made the call, I think. But
janitors.
They were reporting that last night they were reporting that the press conference was delayed. Stephen Pearl's post-game press conference was delayed. Everybody was waiting for him in the press lounge or whatever, because he was on the phone with John Cohen with the SEC office before he got out of there.
I thought this only happened in football. Did John Cohen walk out onto the floor and give the refs an earful? I know he did it in football. Where was he last night?
Did.
Maybe he should have been giving these refs the business. But Barry, without reading it, this headline leads me to believe that, maybe the officials made the correct call. Philip Marshall, longtime, well-respected journalist that covers Auburn athletics, Auburn's downfall started before last second shot. Whoa.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That is true.
Is it true that A&M scored 11 points in 28 seconds?
That is true. That is true.
How do you score 11 points? Wait a minute. I saw the Indiana Pacers score 13 in about 8 seconds.
Yeah.
No, 9. It was 9 in 13 seconds, but 28 11 points in 28 seconds?
See,
no way.
What had happened was that Auburn player Philip Jovic left the game late in the first half with a knee injury of some sort, and so Stephen Pearl said Philip Jovic, his injury not being in was huge because it had some guys that had to play a few too many minutes, but it was weird. They got outscored 33-6 in a span of 6 minutes and 14 seconds.
33-6
in 6 minutes. Auburn got outscored by Texas A&M. Then Keyshawn Hall scored Auburn's last points in the final 42 seconds. So I mean, it was that kind of a game. And
24-hour rule, turn the page.
Yep.
This is almost as crazy as that time that Ole Miss player got in front of that Auburn fan on the courtside seats. The way the fans reacted last night, and I can see it all happened so quickly, kind of hard to grasp it all. But wow, tough.
Yep. So, now Auburn's 0-2 in the SEC, and, some people are saying, hey, the son of Pearl, he's not, he's not what he needs to be. And Coach Ed says Stephen Pearl should be under some coaching scrutiny, but where's the outrage for Cohen not raising enough money for Bruce Pearl to get a couple of big men for one of the only successful programs on campus? It's not as talented a team as they've had in the past. I mean, Johni Broome is not walking through that door.
No, he's not.
Walker Kessler is not walking through that door. They'll be good. They will be good. They're not bad, but I don't think you can plan like another Final Four team like they had a year ago.
I wouldn't. Not at the moment.
No.
Is the SEC ready for buckyball? I mean, he gets into it with an Auburn student leaving the floor. He's posting videos on the plane flying back to College Station, running some smack.
Yeah.
Is this league ready for a little whippersnapper like Bucky McMillan? I mean, somebody out there years ago said, Bama, you might need to look at this guy. Not to say I have any problem with Nate Oates, but I don't know. I was on buckyball years ago when people laughed at me.
Wasn't it Jack Nicholson as the Joker in the first Batman with Tim Burton and Michael Keaton who said this town needs an enema? Sometimes I think the SEC does, and Bucky is here with the nozzle ready and waiting. I like that guy. I do. I did not disagree with you about Bucky McMillan before, and it was a few years back whenever you first got on the Bucky train.
Yeah.
But I just didn't think he was all that experienced. Texas A&M took a chance. I mean, very rarely do you see a mid-major guy go to and former high school coach go to a place like Texas A&M, but it's going to be a roller coaster for him until he gets it rolling. They're going to have 33-6 runs, but they're also going to give up 11-0 runs in less than a minute and stuff like that with the way he plays. But I'm all for it. I think
it's exciting. It draws interest. People are talking about it.
Yes.
I will admit, I can't thank our viewers and listeners enough. I'm not sure exactly at what point in the game I got a text. Hey man, you might ought to head out to the driveway. I really appreciate that. I might have missed it if I did not get the text. I can't tell you, it was enjoyable. I actually slipped out without even telling the little lady I was going. She was probably looking around. Wait a minute. She knew. She opened the back door, saw me in the car, shook her head. She knew what was happening. So thank you for the heads up on that. Really appreciate it. But that wasn't the only game in the SEC last night. And, of course, we've got another slate of games tonight in the league that we'll talk about later today as well.
And we also, the answer to this question is yes. Tobias says, morning, gentlemen. Did you guys see that tweet? Haha, Clinton Dix posted yesterday?
Mm-hmm.
Why, yes, we did.
I want to see more of that, Tobias.
Yeah. Haha, Clinton Dix, former Alabama great, one of the great nicknames in history. He is the director of player development at the University of Alabama. No, I don't know exactly what that is, but he is a staff member within the football program at the University of Alabama now. And well, I'll read the tweet when we come back, and we can decipher it if you want to. Got a lot going on today, John.
You better believe it. Yep. CJ Duncan at the bottom of this hour from Yellowhammer News. Hey, his school, Vanderbilt, hosting Alabama tonight on the hardwood. Josh Harris, Moneyline Magician. I ran into Josh's mom at the grocery store yesterday, aisle 4 by the soups. And she goes, hey, John Longshore. I went, well, yes, ma'am. She goes, I'm the Moneyline Magician's mother. I went, hey, no way.
Triple M, Moneyline Magician's mama. I like that. Yeah. John spends a lot of times in the grocery store.
Yeah, I like the grocery store. I get in, I can get out. I know what I want. There's no dilly-dally, and there's not a bunch of crap I don't need to buy. Yeah, perfect.
Back when the kids were young, they're like, Daddy. He's like, no, we're getting this. We're getting that. Straight there, grab it, straight out. None of this going up and down every aisle.
Yes.
Forget that. Stay with us. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Known by avid golfers as one of the most beautiful and challenging stops on the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, Cambrian Ridge in Greenville lies just 40 miles from Montgomery. It is well worth the ride for any golfer looking for 27 holes of jaw-dropping golf. The greens have been redesigned to accommodate the higher green speeds associated with their installation of the latest generation of ultra-dwarf Bermuda grass. Cambrian Ridge offers a fully stocked pro shop with all the latest equipment and apparel. Great food and beverages in the clubhouse can be enjoyed both before and after your round. Get your group together and hit the trail. Go to rtjgolf.com/Cambrian Ridge for tee times and more information.
It doesn't matter if you're running drills at the park, playing pickup on a Saturday, or sinking the final putt. When you compete with your friends with Michelob Ultra on the line, competition isn't that friendly. The trash talk, next level, and the stakes, those are crystal clear. With only 95 calories and superior smooth taste, it's the ultimate trophy. Superior is worth playing for. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025, Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Jim Massey's Cleaners and Laundry is an Alabama-based, family-owned and operated business that specializes in dry cleaning and laundry, serving the river region since 1941. There are 12 convenient locations across the river region. Find one close to you or call 481-1911 for free pickup and delivery. For 83 years, Central Alabama has trusted Jim Massey's Cleaners and Laundry. You should too.
Well, I think we're back. Who knows? Longshore and McKnight here on this Wednesday. It is the 7th day of January, and Tobias, all the way out in Arizona, asked about a tweet that former Alabama player and current staff member Clinton Dix posted yesterday.
His name is not His mama didn't call him although I know a couple of guys, if their mama saw them when they were born, they might have said his name is Hashawn Clinton Dix. You know him, you know, fabled Alabama player. And he tweeted this yesterday. You know, Alabama's lost a few guys in the portal.
Yep.
My co-host and I both said, yeah, it's going to happen. You're going to lose a few. It's happening to everybody. Some talented guys, I guess, if you look at the star rating from the services and everything when they got recruited. Keon Keeley, Jalen Mbakwe. Anyway, Clinton Dix is now the director of player development, something like that at Alabama. I had it in front of me. And he tweeted this out.
Okay.
Quote, "Go watch the tape and tell me what guys y'all are upset about leaving based off production. I'm in the office all day. I'll wait." End quote. And it got quite the response. Basically, what he is saying is that y'all are worried about, he didn't say this, but I'll paraphrase.
Reading between the lines, something we've been known to do on this program.
Y'all are teed off because Jalen Mbakwe is transferring.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are mad because, what's the kid from Montgomery? James Smith or
Russaw
or Keon Keeley are leaving. Oh, this guy's a 5-star. That guy was the number 2 rated defensive tackle in the country. And he says, "Look at the tape. We ain't losing anything." Basically, that's what he's saying, which is a double-edged sword. Number one, hey, man, we're going to be fine. Losing those guys, no big deal. Number two, it's like, man, we swung and missed on these guys, or we didn't develop them. Which I guess is part of his job description. But he's basically saying, let them go. Big deal. Something that my co-host has said before, they weren't all that good anyway. I mean, who was knocking down Keon Keeley's door?
That's right.
You know the stuff that John said. So, the longshoreisms out there. Basically, Clinton Dix is saying, we didn't like these guys anyway.
Yeah.
Let them crash.
Yeah. I mean, way off sides, Jeff tells us, I didn't realize this, Quay Russell's had 2 sacks in 2 years.
Yeah, but they were great.
No, come on.
Yeah.
I mean, you might not like what HaHa's got to say, but I mean, there again, he's watching the tape. Heck, I'm watching the games. I'm not seeing a lot of players that just bowl me over. Truth hurts sometimes.
Well, yeah, I mean, John says that because John's paid for his opinions. And, fans will say that. But to have the director of player development said, so, big deal.
Yeah.
Let them go. Anybody watch the tape on these guys? Evidently, Tobias did. Tobias says Quay Russell had 2 sacks in 3 years. James Smith gets pushed around and gives no effort. Send them packing.
I mean, it's a dog-eat-dog world out there. And if you're not, living up to it, move on.
Yeah.
Get on out of here.
Shop underwear, like Norm said in Cheers. It's a dog-eat-dog world out there.
So, and these kids, some of them from Montgomery, so be it. I don't care where you're from.
Yeah.
So if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing or were recruited to do, it's time to move on.
Yeah, well, it's like Tobias says, players wanted it to be a business until a business acts like a business.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Way to put it.
I know life is unfair, but how come it ain't unfair in my favor? How come it's unfair in the negative way? So there's that. And I don't think he's wrong. Those guys, and I'm rooting for, Russell and James Smith because they're Montgomery guys. But, at some point, I'm not saying that they're cutting them loose. I'm not saying they look at those guys and say, you got to get out of here. But I do think in their post-season exit interviews, they're saying, look, we like you. We like you. We think you got plenty of potential, and it may be just out of the surface, but we're gonna cut your salary, which is what it is, John. Face it. We're gonna cut your salary by half. And when you start producing, then we'll do like a business does, and we'll give you a raise.
I don't think that reality. I don't think that reality of we're going to cut you loose. We're not going to pay you as much as you were making last year. We're going to renegotiate. Yeah. I don't think that reality is something that these young kids really thought a lot about. I'm going to make $1 million this year, and Dadgummit, I'm going to make it next year too.
And then I'm off to the NFL where I'm going to rip up the league and all this kind of, okay. Sometimes it doesn't happen that way. Now, also the other big news besides the Aubs getting robbed and Clinton Dix, Brian Matthews, AuburnSports.com yesterday told us, he said, look, I expect a decision maybe by the end of the day on whether or not Auburn gets the commitment of former South Florida quarterback Byrum Brown. Well, he was right. It did happen yesterday. He is coming to Auburn for 1 year. He has 1 year of eligibility left. He's 230 pounds. He can run like a deer. He can throw. He's had a lot of experience, a lot of success at South Florida out of the American Athletic Conference. It is about time. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I don't know enough about him. I've seen him play 2 games, Byrum Brown. But I am about ready on Auburn's behalf for them not to swing and miss on a quarterback signee.
Yeah.
They've had a bad stretch. The Peyton Thorne and the Jackson Arnold. That's the reason why Hugh is playing golf full time now. But this kid has a chance. Number one, obviously, he is thoroughly familiar with Alex Golesh's system. He was at South Florida the year before Golesh got there. He's been with Golesh. He's been successful in that system, very successful. His numbers will get your attention for sure. But it's about time for a quarterback signee at Auburn to be all that he was cracked up to be. Auburn fans, I get it while you're jaded and you don't really know this coach. I get it why the new thing for Bama fans on TiderInsider.com is to call them the Auburn Bulls. I get that because they've got a lot.
You've seen the new logo, huh?
A lot of South Florida players there and everything. And, of course, the deal with with what some of the Auburn people are telling me is, hey, look, Kurt Cignetti brought 13 players from James Madison with him to Indiana, and look at them, including the starting running back, including a linebacker, including a tight end, and all of that kind of stuff. The Gatesman, John Dent, he says Byrum Brown is the real deal. BM, mark it down. I've heard, like I said, I've seen him play. I remember a couple of years ago, I didn't actually see this game when South Florida played Alabama. But I listened to it. I listened to Chris Stewart. I was traveling and I listened to that game, and Alabama could not stop Byrum Brown.
No,
Alabama won it. They may have won it by double digits, but South Florida scored a fair amount. And I remember Chris Stewart talking all the time about this Byrum Brown kid. Man, we got to figure him out and all that. That's the extent of what I know about him. I know his numbers. I've seen his success, and this is a big deal for Auburn to get him, but it's kind of low-hanging fruit. They kind of knew they were going to get him. Now it's time for for some consistent year-long good quarterback play from an Auburn quarterback.
Well, I kind of, now that you bring that up, it's kind of like the Alabama running back situation that I mentioned over the last couple of weeks. From Johnny Musso to Jahmyr Gibbs, Alabama always had a bell cow running back. They did not this year. When's the last time Auburn has had a bell cow quarterback? Nick Marshall?
No. You
one of my
obviously
all-time favorite Auburn players.
You forget about Bo Nix, of course.
I'm not sure he was a bell cow. He was running for his life, arguing with assistant coaches.
That will never
criticizing his teammates.
That guy's the all-time leading passer in Auburn history. What does John categorize him as? He had a slight disagreement with a wide receiver and his
he was the leading passer because he was running for his life all day. They had to get the ball out of his hands.
Bo Nix, Jared Stidham, but it's been a while. Your point is a good point, even though your memory may be a little bit faulty, but it has been a little while for Auburn. And this guy, good numbers, really good career so far. Does he have help? Will he have help? He doesn't right now. I'm telling you, what they've got right now on campus is not enough to win with. They've got to still hit that portal really hard. Maybe another running back to go along with Jeremiah Cobb. Definitely. Now that they got Byron Brown, got to start looking at linemen to try to help him out. I mean, you want him to be like Ty Simpson and be a really good quarterback, but not get a chance to set his feet and get smacked around a lot. It's a big get, I think, for Auburn, but they've still got a long way to go. They've still got a lot of work.
Well, I mean, I don't know, that sounds so uninspiring. Hey, you got to look at it this way. Hey, this kid's great. Unbelievable. He's reunited with his former coach, along with about half his other teammates.
You may see him, Barry, put him on a billboard.
Yeah, Barry, I'm a glass half full, not half empty. Yeah. Come on. Okay, so half the South Florida team is now in Auburn. You got to look at it from a positive standpoint.
Every time I've seen John, his glass has been totally full. But anyway, so we've got CJ Duncan coming up in just a moment. Goodness, we got a lot to talk about with him. We're glad you're along with us. It's our Wednesday show in association with Yellowhammer News. It's Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light.
The Destin Connection Seafood Market at 3750 Norman Bridge Road in Montgomery has the freshest seafood direct from the Gulf of America. I'm talking red snapper and grouper, all sizes of Gulf shrimp, jumbo lump crab meat and crab claws, Louisiana Bay oysters, and New Bedford scallops. They are a full-service seafood market and kitchen serving po' boys, dinners, and sandwiches. Many well-known restaurants in the river region purchase their seafood from the Destin Connection because they know it's the absolute best. Call ahead and your order will be ready for pickup. The Destin Connection Seafood Market, 3750 Norman Bridge Road. Call 288-4272. That's 288-4272.
Hey, where's the beer guy? Bud Light here? You get a Bud Light? Bud Light? I'm here, Bud Light. Bud Light here? Bud Light here? Bud Light here? Bud Light where? Bud Light here? Oh, Bud Light there. I missed that because of you. You did not miss that play because of me. Tough to stop talking this way? Yeah. It's actually kind of fun. Hey, I got your Bud Light. Oh, nice. Never mind. Anything for the clean, crisp taste of Bud Light. What'd I miss? I have no idea.
Don't miss your chance to win big at Victoryland Casino. Play the latest, hottest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. Don't miss out on your free play. Stop by Player Rewards today and check out this month's exciting free play promotions. Come see why our players keep coming back. You'll have more fun at Victoryland Casino, where you can be a winner too. Victoryland Casino, located off I-85 exit 22, Shorter, Alabama. Must be 21 or older.
All right, welcome back in, everybody. About 28 minutes to the top of the hour. You know what we do each and every Wednesday. Our man CJ Duncan, Yellowhammer News, joins us here. Hey, CJ, hope you're doing well today.
Good morning. How are you guys doing?
We're doing really, really well. We're going to talk about the competitive juggernaut that is Vanderbilt athletics in just a little while. But first of all, CJ, how do you regard all of the news and all of the tweets and all of the updates about the transfer portal? I mean, it's like 40% of every scholarship football player in Division I is in the transfer portal. Are you getting jaded by it all? Are you interested in it? How do you regard it all?
You know what? After a while, I try to keep up with some of the major names that, I kind of have a feeling that they're going to hop in the portal at some point or another. But other than that, I kind of let the dust settle. It's kind of hard to keep up with when there's so many people from so many different teams and directions. And, but I usually kind of keep up with the top players, top quarterbacks, because really those guys are the ones that are probably going to make the biggest difference. And then also focus on my team personally, Vanderbilt. We did a lot of work this past year at the offensive line position in the portal. And so those things really matter to us. And so I try to keep an eye on those guys. But other than that, you kind of have to let the dust settle and then go back and see which guys are really going to make a difference in the following season.
Your thoughts about a Alabama staffer that tweeted yesterday that, hey man, just look at the tape. These guys are entering the portal out of Tuscaloosa. If you look at the tape, you'll see why they're entering the portal. Maybe not something that should be made public, but the truth hurts sometimes, and it is a business these days. And if you're not, stacking up to what they want you to do, it doesn't seem like they're crying or shedding any tears if you enter the portal.
You know what, guys, I think we've talked about it on this show before as well. It's, a lot of times, 9 times out of 10, if you're in the portal, there's a reason why you're in the portal. You're not getting the playing time that you want. There's been some type of dispute between you and the coaches. You're having a hard time, really understanding the playbook, or you just, it's a bad fit. But then other times, if you're, and that's usually if you feel like it's a lateral move, right? And so that's why you got to be careful and not get over hyped about a certain guy getting in the portal and going to a certain team. There's probably some character, issues or something there that's not working out or hadn't really transitioned since high school. It's usually the guys that you see going from one conference level to another that usually are more successful in there to just play a bigger brand of ball. But if it's a lateral move, there's probably something behind the curtain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we had one of our viewers. He said players want to act like players want to say it's a business until the business starts acting like a business.
That is correct. That is correct.
A lot of those guys. You mentioned all the different ways you may get in the transfer portal. The thing people don't talk about that much is a lot of times that's initiated from the coaching staff too.
Right. Yeah.
You may want to try somewhere else.
You gotta make some space. Every year, even when I was coming through, my dad used to tell me there's a whole wave of guys coming to take your position every year. So you've got to prove yourself every single year. The spring is very important. And you've got to show not only what you can do on the field, but also off the field. What does your leadership look like? Are you dedicated? Are you someone that they can trust? They don't have to keep an eye on all the time. And so if you can't prove that early on, they've got to make space for the next guy. And that's just how it's always worked. But now the portal's giving them another option to do so, to move guys out and move others in.
CJ, it's like the NFL. I mean, somebody's there always trying to take your job. And, you better be playing your best every Sunday or you're getting cut. Or somebody else, you'll be playing for another team or your NFL career could be over. And yeah, I think you're seeing the same things on the college ranks. I mean, if you're not producing and you're not doing what we recruited you to do, there's the door. Go find somewhere else that maybe you can take your skills and maybe do better somewhere else.
Absolutely. I remember growing up and, my parents and other mentors or aunts and uncles, they say, don't rush to be an adult, enjoy being a kid, embrace this moment. These are some of the best times of your life. Don't rush it. Don't rush it. And I think a lot of these kids are rushing. They want to be an adult so fast. They want to make money so fast. They want to do this and have the car and have the house and do all these things so fast. But okay, well, guess what also comes with adulting? Responsibility and accountability. And so if you are not producing, if you're not doing your job at the highest level in order to get these things, adults get fired. Adults have to move on to the next job. And so I think it's been a tough transition for some guys.
Let me ask you about this because it feels like it was forever ago, but it's been since the last time we visited CJ. And any final takeaways, any final conclusions about Indiana's win over Alabama in the Rose Bowl?
You know what? That's just a better team. It's a better team at the end of the day. If you're an Alabama fan, that's not how you want to end the season. That's not how you want to go into the offseason. You'd like to pull something from that game and say, okay, we can hold on to this and understand that this is at our core. We at least have this. We are really good at this. And in that game, I don't think they were really good at anything. And so that is going to be very frustrating. And so it either makes you a lot better because it's motivating you, it's pushing you, and the coaches have a reason to yell at you all off season, or you kind of end back up in the same boat that you've been in. And then you never want to go into the offseason with a question mark at quarterback. I don't know what's true and not true, but there's articles saying that Ty may go to the NFL or Ty may enter the portal, or Russell, his progression will be delayed another year. And do you want that? So there's a lot of question marks that are going on around the program, including the coach's future, which will be a conversation all off season. And you just don't want to do that. But Indiana was just clearly the better team. They are a team that last year they were happy to be there, and this year they expected to be there. And you can see that. They played disciplined, they played physical, and efficient. They're just a clean game, and they've got a guy that delivers the ball on time. So that usually turns into a win.
And I agree with all of the characteristics that you just brought up about that Indiana team, because I'm with you. I mean, confident, disciplined, know what they're doing. They don't make mistakes. But are they 35 points better than Alabama? Did Alabama quit?
Yes, I can see that. I don't mind that comment, and especially after, once Ty goes down, right? Because on that drive, you could kind of see Alabama getting some momentum, and the game wasn't out of hand at the time. I think, Indiana may have had 17 points at the time or something like that. And Bama's driving and Ty's kind of catching a rhythm. He makes a run, get down, but he doesn't. And then the rib situation happens. And so starting quarterback goes down, already been struggling the majority of the game, but then your starter goes down. I think guys packed it in thinking, okay, well, I'm getting in the portal in a few hours, or I'm going to the league in a couple hours. And I don't need to end up like Ty, because that's going to cost me my money, and guys are thinking that way. They really are. This game's already out of hand. We're not going to make it to the chip anyway. We're definitely not going to win it. So let's just do all we can to get out of here clean.
I remember Kirk Herbstreit, CJ, saying something. He says, right now, Alabama's just kind of there. They're just kind of out there on the field. It doesn't look like Alabama. They're just kind of showing up and being a cornerback and being in the right position at safety, but they're not playing like Alabama plays.
And isn't that the coaching staff's responsibility to make sure things like that don't happen?
Yes, I mean you would think so, but you can't, as a coach, you can't take care of that right there. That's not something that you just yell at a guy and say, "Hey, I need you to play harder." That's not, you shouldn't do that right there and then. The guy's not going to respond to that. You can yell all you want.
I'm glad you phrased it that way, and I totally agree. I think it's a 12-month out of the year situation. You got to build that character and that foundation throughout the entire offseason for moments like that. And that's why I question, Kalen DeBoer and his style of coaching in the SEC, and particularly in Alabama. That might have worked in the Pacific Northwest of the Pac-12, but that doesn't work in the SEC.
Yes, I completely agree. I think it's a certain level of toughness that you have to have. I think there's a certain level of fear you have to have about your coach. I mean, if you're scared of your coach, you play a certain type of way, right? And there's just a certain standard.
I mean, he's not your friend. He's not your buddy.
He's not. And so I think and we had moments like that even at Vanderbilt. I think a lot of us guys coming from the Franklin system, we were scared crapless of Franklin. He was one of those guys. He will undress you. He'll put you on the bench. You may be the best player on the team, but he'll put you on the bench to prove a point. There was a certain level of fear we had there, but then there are other people that we had on our staff that other guys didn't respect enough. So they were going to play how they wanted to play. And I'm not saying everyone was like that, but I think that plays a huge role in the toughness of the team, and the standard that is set. And you can kind of tell, especially with there being kind of an up and down season, how are we feeling today kind of Alabama team instead of being consistent, you can tell that there isn't a toughness, and especially from the top down, in that program right now.
You see that toughness that you're talking about. In my mind, CJ, in every one of the Final Four teams left standing in the playoffs. Miami, they beat Ohio State by double digits. Oregon shuts out Texas Tech. Indiana did what they did and looked great. Ole Miss had one of the best games I've seen in years, and I think a lot of it had to do with mental toughness, with mental strength in that one. That's a common denominator in everybody that's left. Who do you like, CJ, coming down the stretch with the semifinals starting tomorrow?
Sure. It's a tough pick because, to me, I think Indiana's the best team still playing right now. But we've talked about, I hate, rematches, second time in a year. And we've seen up to this point, other than the Ole Miss Tulane game, where it's just a difference in talent, every rematch has gone the opposite way it went during the regular season. And Oregon's playing Indiana again. Indiana won during the year. I'm scared of that game. Although I think Indiana's a better team, for whatever reason in college football, rematches during the same year just don't turn out well for the first winner. But I agree. I think there's a certain level of confidence and mental fortitude with all of these teams. Ole Miss and Miami is going to be an excellent game. It's Trinidad Chambliss. He's kind of like one of those baseball players. You get into October, you've been slumping for a while or just playing average ball, then all of a sudden you have a home run every game of the playoffs. He's having one of those magical runs. Everything is going right. But that Miami defense is they're ruthless. They're nasty. They want to hurt you. You question when they tackle you whether you want to get up or not. You're like, how much time is on the clock? Should I just stay down? They're one of those kind of teams. And so I honestly, in my heart of hearts, I really would like to see Indiana play against Miami in the final, and see how that goes. But I'm scared of that Oregon-Indiana match. I really am. Just because it's a rematch. It's always tough for college kids.
Circling back to Ty Simpson, obviously the next week or so is going to be really important, whether he goes into the NFL draft, maybe transfers somewhere else, or decides to come back to Alabama. Should he come back to Alabama? Has he shown enough? Can they win next year with Ty Simpson? And if he does come back, you got to think these other guys are looking elsewhere. I'm sure they're waiting to see what Ty Simpson's going to do so they can make a decision about their future. I mentioned this yesterday, CJ. I think Ty Simpson needs to move on, whether it's the NFL or somewhere else. And I think a guy like Austin Mack or Keelan Russell is a guy that is a DeBoer type of quarterback, a Michael Penix kind of guy, if you will, a guy he recruited. He didn't recruit Jalen Milroe. He didn't recruit Ty Simpson. In year 3 under Kalen DeBoer, he's got to show up. He's got to prove that he's worthy in his third year. He can't have losses by 35 points, 21 points, 17 points. This team's got to be dominant. And I think he's got to have a guy under center that he recruited. Your thoughts about that?
I agree completely. And I think as far as Ty Simpson is concerned, I think that I think Alabama needs a fresh voice in the locker room, and they're not going to fire DeBoer, so that means the quarterback's got to go. I don't think that he's ready for the NFL, but I don't think his playing career is completely dead. He has shown a lot of promise. He's got a different swagger about him than a lot of quarterbacks. He can make the throws. And I actually like his legs a lot. He's sneaky athletic as well. He could honestly be in a situation like Bo Nix when he left Auburn. Bo Nix was not highly regarded. If he went in the draft, they would have drafted him. It would have been fine. but he decided to go to Oregon with Dan Lanning, someone who is, a quarterback guru, someone that could get in his head, be inside his head, understand what he's thinking, and then also just pour him with confidence. And it just changed the whole outlook of his career. And I think Ty Simpson could be in a situation like that where he just needs to go under someone that he feels truly believes in him, can get his confidence back going, and just clean up a couple things here and there. Whether it's his footwork, whether it's his eyes, pre-snap reads, post-snap reads. It's usually just little things because football is so timing oriented. If you're just a little off, it messes up everything. And so he needs a guy like Dan Lanning to kind of cut the fat off some things, polish it up, and send him off to the league.
It's good stuff. Final question. We're keeping you for a little bit here. Alabama basketball plays at Vanderbilt tonight at 8:00. Vanderbilt is one of 6 undefeated teams in men's basketball in the country. They're 14-0. Women's basketball is 15-0. Football team won 10 games. Baseball team's already at a national championship level. Has there been anything that you can point to about the culture and the trajectory of Vanderbilt athletics that has led to this kind of success, CJ?
You know what? It kind of shocks me as well. Now, I will add women's soccer, just won the SEC championship as well. Mm-hmm. But you know what? It has shocked me as well. These guys and girls, they walk around with a different air about them. They really do. I'm sitting there just observing and watching and really, a little depressed that I'm so old now. But they walk with they have a different swagger about them. They walk on their toes and they have confidence and they believe. They really do believe. And I don't know if it was the renovation to the facilities, the investment in NIL. I don't know what it is, but something has brought out a belief in every single one of the athletes at our university. And they truly believe like they deserve to be on the court and they are worthy of everything that's been invested into them. And so they're proving it right now. And that is the kind of attitude that you love to see. I'm proud that it's my university, that the kids are handling the money the right way. They're not letting it go to their head and not really producing after receiving the money. No, they're actually going out and showing you why they deserve it. And so just a lot of kudos to everybody involved, including Candace Lee, our AD, who has completely turned around our whole sports at Vanderbilt after, having a lot of criticism initially. But she said, just stick with her. She's got a plan, and the plan is working.
Boy, is it. Hate to wrap up on a downer, but I did need to ask you this. I mentioned it before the bowl game. Iowa is the most boring football program in college football. Yeah. They just bore me to tears. Mm-hmm. What did you see in that game? I think it's a lot of factors. It's a month. You've been out of the game for a month. You're waiting around. You're playing in a game that, let's face it, you're not going to win the national title, all that type stuff. So I know that factors in because I see it with a lot of teams. But was there something that you saw in that game that maybe stuck out?
Yeah, one, just unlike us, we were so boneheaded in the first 10 minutes of the game. I would love to see the flag count between us and Iowa. We gave them so many different opportunities. I mean, even on the first drive in which they scored, they had 3rd and long. We had the quarterback sacked, and we assumed the one guy sacked him, so everybody pulled up, and then he runs for 30 more yards, right? It's things like that we don't normally do that kind of happened in that game. But I do think that it was a situation where we've got guys that really, really, really wanted to play in the college football playoff. And when they realized they were not playing for anything, they decided that, hey, I'm going to dial it back a little bit. It did feel a lot like that. You don't want to see that out of your team, but I think Coach Lee, we got to put enough trust in him in this offseason that we can turn some things around and get back on track.
One final thought. On behalf of a certain attorney in Ozark, reminds me Vanderbilt men's golf has won 3 SEC championships in the last
don't forget about
8
the
as
golf
well.
team.
So,
That's right.
Always a pleasure. CJ Duncan, Yellowhammer News. Thanks a bunch. We look forward to talking with you again.
Thank you, guys. Looking forward
have
to
a
next
great week. Yep, we'll talk to you
care.
next week. CJ Duncan, Yellowhammer News. What a great segment always is. Great stuff. You know, as he was describing the Vanderbilt basketball team, women's team, soccer team, golf team, you know, walking on their toes, you know, they got a little bit air of confidence. There was another group of athletes I was thinking about at a particular SEC school that seems to have been doing that or labeled to be doing that for so many years. I'm not sure the football team's doing it currently after that 35-point ass whooping, but no, that's refreshing to know they're doing that in Nashville too.
You're talking about, of course, women's doubles tennis.
Yes.
Which we've heard about quite a bit. Softball, no question.
Yeah.
Love CJ. Great stuff with him. We got lots more still to come, including Josh Harris, who's...
Well, wait. We're going to have to reschedule. Josh has had a meeting pop up today. Hey, Theotis, I know. I wanted to kind of break the news to you gently, but Josh will be with us on Friday at 8 a.m.
Okay. We can handle that. Yes. We don't have any sort of scheduling conflict or any prospects of a late breaking meeting for the Phantom's Daily Dog in about 20 or 25 minutes, right? Yeah.
No, the Daily Dog will be recapped and released. I like that. Recapped and released. We're recapped last night. We'll release tonight as well. Also, Barry, we have a clip that we're going to play at the top of the next hour when we return.
Yep.
It is a clip of the shot that was attempted last night as the buzzer sounded. You be the judge, but there's something else about this clip, Barry, that caught my eye. And I
hate being blindsided by this because this is going to have something in it. John said, "Don't you see this, Barry? Look over here." And I'm thinking, "Oh, geez, what is this all about now?"
I know everybody's focusing on the shot and when the ball left the kid's hand, which certainly we'll dissect and look at. But there's something else about this when this shot happened that I went, ooh, did anybody notice that too? So just stick around. We'll do that in the next hour.
I know what you're thinking. For some people who are immediately going to this, no, Philip Marshall is not in the background sitting at the media table because the media table is not a courtside anymore.
I will say this, Barry. I want to congratulate and give a shout out. Because obviously I'm in the car listening to Andy, and I don't even know who the color analyst is.
Randall Dickey.
Yes. Not very good, but I don't want to get into that.
Easy.
But whoever the guy is that stands behind Andy to keep the fans away, that guy needs give that guy a pat on the back. He worked hard last night because they thought they'd won the game. Fans going crazy.
They
were going high five Andy or whatever, and this guy's keeping them back. I mean, that's tough duty there.
Yeah. Way offsides, Jeff says, was it Keyshawn Hall yelling panties when the shot went in? That was Keyshawn Murphy. That's a big problem. That'd be difficult because you got Keyshawn Hall and Keyshawn Murphy on the same team. Anyway,
did it hit any rim there, Jeff? I mean, you got to make sure it is nothing but net before you call that.
Yeah, you can't be rattling it around, bounce off, hit the top of the backboard, and then slip through.
Or even, Barry, slightly graze the back of the rim as it goes through. You think it's nothing but net, but when you further review, you go, I think that ball hit the back of the rim.
Yeah. Does anybody really worry if that dicey little 10-foot putt to win the hole bounces around a little bit and then drops?
Hey, he can take a couple of victory laps as long as it goes in.
Hey, no problem here.
I mean, and then you look at your opponent and go, did you think it wasn't going in? I mean, really? Come on. Have you seen me miss a putt today?
Come on. All that's coming up. Hour number 2, our second live hour of the show, begins after this timeout. He's John Longshore. I'm Barry McKnight. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
The Destin Connection Seafood Market at 3750 Norman Bridge Road in Montgomery has the freshest seafood direct from the Gulf of America. I'm talking red snapper and grouper, all sizes of Gulf shrimp, jumbo lump crab meat and crab claws, Louisiana Bay oysters, and New Bedford scallops. They are a full-service seafood market and kitchen serving po' boys, dinners, and sandwiches. You know, many well-known restaurants in the river region purchase their seafood from the Destin Connection because they know it's the absolute best. Call ahead and your order will be ready for pickup. The Destin Connection Seafood Market, 3750 Norman Bridge Road. Call 288-4272. That's 288-4272.
Get your coolers ready because we have big news. Superior is now alcohol-free. Michelob Ultra Zero. Zero alcohol, ultra smooth taste, just 29 calories. Hear that? That's the sound of a game changing. Stay in the game with Michelob Ultra Zero. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Zero. Alcohol-free malt beverage, St. Louis, Missouri. 29 calories, 6.5 grams carbohydrates. Less than 1 gram protein and 0 grams fat per 12 fluid ounces.
Phoenix Physical Therapy is ready to help patients recover, recharge, and rise. They develop a customized therapy plan for each patient to get them back to enjoying their favorite activities. Their experienced team is committed to providing exceptional care in a professional environment. Whether you're looking to prevent or treat an injury, recover from a recent illness, or recuperate from surgery, schedule an appointment with our clinic and take advantage of our physical therapy, athletic training, workers' comp, and employer solutions service. Experience elevated physical therapy today. Call Phoenix Physical Therapy at 239-9316. That's 239-9316.
Okay, back at it, everybody. Glad you're with us. Top of the hour on this Wednesday. A couple of shout-outs on the River Region Straw text hotline. Dennis, good morning. Thank you so much for that. And also, Barry, I don't know how you pronounce this guy at 8 a.m. Another hour? Fantastic. I love this show. Man.
Oh, yeah. That's our man, Chris the Bammer.
Okay.
Chris has had a hip replacement. He says
No
he's
way.
walking with more swagger now that he's got the new hip. That's kind of a thing. I know a lot of people are doing that are our age and beyond. Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
right.
the big topics of the first hour so far, in addition to a dynamic appearance again by C.J. Duncan, Auburn gets the commitment of Byram Brown, the quarterback. No, not really a surprise at all. Not at all a surprise, but it has become official-ish. They got the quarterback they really, really needed. I'll just put this up here just for the heck of it. And also, Clinton Dix.
Man, I love you, Dennis.
The Alabama football director of player personnel tweets out, hey, you guys take a look at some of the tape of some of these guys. You guys are screaming about going in the transfer portal and tell me what we're losing.
Yeah.
I'm in the office all day. Sit here and wait.
Totally
I'll wait for you. Yeah.
You know, the truth hurts sometimes. I mean, it's kind of like
guys, you guys are saying, oh, we're losing a 5-star. Oh, we're losing a 4-star. We're losing the Alabama player of the whatever. And then take a look.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. So what? Big deal. I mean, I see yesterday Caden Proctor's entering the draft. Good luck. I mean,
You're talking about the SEC blocker of the year this year.
Hope he doesn't have to go up in any athletic, speedy defensive ends in the NFL. I think they're littered with them. I think there's probably, 32, 64 good defensive ends in the NFL.
I just don't. I love everything about him except his feet. He always, he's not agile, not agile enough to be an NFL tackle.
Barry, for the hype around that guy coming in, he comes in and he goes back to Iowa. He comes back. The hype around that guy, he never lived up to it. The guy was all hype, no substance. I mean, I guess he's okay. I mean, is he a John Hanna? No.
Is he a Jonah Williams? Who Nick Saban said was the best football player on that Alabama team for like 2 or 3 years. Those are teams that won championships. I wonder about that. Anyway, Clinton Dix, that conversation as well. Auburn, did Keyshawn Murphy have the edge of his fingernails still in contact with the basketball when he released the desperation 35-footer that would have given Auburn a 91-88 win at home over Texas A&M? The fans thought it was.
Oh, sure they did.
But the referees said no upon review, and they left. The SEC network telecasted that game yesterday, and afterwards, Dari Noka, I don't know if it was Fishback or
love that guy,
Dane Bradshaw or somebody like that. They're all there in the studio, and they got a headset on Bucky McMillan.
Ooh.
There's a great clip on Twitter. Bucky, and I mean, the fans haven't gone. This is after the game. Hey, let's welcome in Bucky McMillan, head coach of the Texas A&M Aggies. Congratulations on the win. And Bucky, he's sitting there at midcourt, and you could see every Auburn student, I think, on campus up in the stands behind him. They ain't gone anywhere. They're still unhappy. And Bucky says, look, I can't hear a word you're saying, but, that game should have been won at the free throw line earlier in the game. And they're following up with a question. And Bucky's doing, this is something John and I have had to deal with before from our guests every once in a while on other mediums. When Bucky's doing this number, he's going, I can't hear. Yeah. He's looking at the production assistant or the tech on the side. He said, I can't hear, and everything. Yeah. So he just boom and had to go because they were not happy.
They were not happy. And I mentioned a clip of Bucky on the team plane flying back to College Station. Just do a little self-promotional video that got all over the World Wide Web. So there again is asking hour number one, is the SEC ready for Bucky Ball? Is he going to be, I'm trying to, is he like the Steve Spurrier of basketball?
I'm trying to think of somebody. You know who I think is maybe, in my mind anyway, a better comparison, as the real estate people say, a better comp, is Hal Mumme. Because I mean, they came out of nowhere. Nobody had heard of Hal Mumme. He was at Valdosta State, and before that, he was at like Iowa Wesleyan or something like that. And he comes to the SEC, and he's playing a different kind of football. And everybody's like, well, it's never going to work in the SEC. And he never won any championships, but he won some games. And he'd say anything. I'll never forget that time John and I interviewed Hal Mumme when he was the coach at Kentucky. We were up in Hoover, and all the coaches are there dressed to the nines. And Hal shows up without a tie on. He's got a sport jacket on and an open shirt and everything. And John says, "Hey, Hal, how come you're not wearing a tie?" And Mumme looks at John and says, "Why should I? You're not." John's like, "That's a fair point."
Fair point,
Coach. So, that's kind of like Bucky. He runs a different style that I'm not sure everybody in the SEC is totally ready for. More people are doing this. Nate Oates is doing that same type of a thing. But he'll say anything. He ain't scared. So I think it's a breath of fresh air. It certainly is a breath of fresh air for Texas A&M.
I like it. I'm with you there. Now, Barry, there's been a lot of talk about how many SEC games the Auburn football team has lost. I've lost track of how many they've lost at Jordan-Hare Stadium and all that kind of stuff. But my crack research team tells me that going back to last year, Auburn has lost 4 straight SEC games, including Bruce's last game at home there at Neville Arena, which was against, I guess, the Crimson Tide. A little 4-game SEC losing streak. Ooh. Wow. Really?
Guys. Really? You guys, and I know who you are, and I know your leanings out there.
Yeah.
You're actually giving Sean.
I don't know, and I don't know how they got my phone number.
Yeah.
But some of them I don't know. I want to make that, but I'd like to know you, but I'm not sure I do. But go ahead.
Kind of like the cut of your jib and everything, but you are using, you talk about cooking the books a little bit. Hey, they've lost such and such and so straight SEC games, including Bruce's last game. Last game at home.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That the Crimson Crane game when Bruce posed struck the
No,
Crimson
that was a long
time ago.
That was that has lived in Auburn lore for several years now.
Tighter insider lore as well.
Auburn lost in overtime last year in the home finale by 2.
Yeah. Mark Searson shot, I believe, in that game.
And yeah. And before that, they had beaten Ole Miss by like 30 at home.
Yeah.
So they've lost 3 straight SEC games. Not all of them at home. But the Alabama game, I love it that people are bringing up, they lost to Alabama in the final game of the regular year last year. The saddle is slipping a little bit. You can see a few cracks in the foundation.
Yeah.
Not even coming up with the obvious point that they made the Final Four.
Did they?
Last year as a number 1 seed and ended up losing to the eventual national champion.
Have they hung that
in the
Final Four banner up there at Neville Arena?
I do not know. So good job, guys. Kind of cooking the books a little bit by saying, I sense a trend over at Auburn. They did lose the final regular season game last year under Bruce Pearl. Yeah, before they went on a Final Four run. They're second, by the way.
Somebody's told you Final Four, so what? Big deal. Who cares? You got to win it. All right, so we have got a clip. Let me try to set this up a little bit. This is the last play of the game last night in the arena. I think there's 1 second on the clock. Now,
less than 1 second, and it's 90-88 Texas A&M.
Correct. So there's something I mentioned about this segment here that caught my attention.
What's the deal with the empty seats?
Boom, you noticed it.
Oh, sorry, I jumped over. I didn't even. Okay, my bad.
It's another huge sellout. Yeah, okay. Every ticket was bought. Where are all the fannies in the seats? I mean, Auburn's about to win this game, and they've already packed it, and they've headed back home to Lita-Hatchie and Nuttasolga and all those other areas.
Classes start at Auburn, I think, today. So, I mean, the students were back, right?
I mean, where are all these people that allegedly packed the rafters at Neville Arena till the final horn sounds? I'm thinking, that's not a good look. Don't like that.
Even if, that is a little shocking, even if it wasn't, it's not Bruce Pearl anymore, it's his son.
True.
Even if there's a Final Four culture now with Auburn basketball and sellouts, and they've been to 2 Final Fours in the last 5 years or so. Even with all that, if that's not enough to pack the house, Byron Brown is there. You know, I mean, you got to show out for Byron Brown. That's the big thing.
I mean, are we going to go Tuesday night at 8:00 tip? Is that? Come on, you're right. This is Final Four. This is your first home SEC game. It's been a good time to raise the banner last night, and that looks like 2 whole sections are empty.
Man,
what the heck?
I don't know.
That's not good.
Yeah.
So
they got. Golly, they got. It wasn't like everybody left early or anything. It was a late game. Maybe some people had jobs or something.
Sure. Yeah, I get it.
I don't know.
Now, I don't know if this was a still photo or a video that actually – oh, here we go.
Here we go. Here it is. Oh, my gosh. The ball is in the air when the horn sounds.
I don't know.
All right, let's do that again.
That's not what the ref said.
Oh, here you go. Yeah, everybody's running out. This is when the referees waved it off. These are Texas A&M people. They're happy. They're celebrating. And here come the water bottles.
Yeah. Oh, did one of those A&M players go up and get in front of the face?
No,
watch face of an old guy on the.
All right. That's my buddy Pat Adams. No, I don't know. Anyway. Boy, that looked like the ball was. I mean, the ball was well on its way on the horn. Now the horn, it doesn't count. It's the clock that counts.
I mean, 2 tough losses. I mean, they take it to overtime in Athens on Saturday with another miraculous. I'll give Auburn one thing, Barry. They got some guys that can shoot some pressure shots.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 games in a row.
This game shouldn't have come down to shooting a pressure shot. Bucky McMillan's right about that. But, it does not have the look of an SEC champion team. Quickly, Bob from Pike Road, he said, y'all don't listen, but Bob from Pike Road tried to tell y'all the Modern Day Assassin killed the voodoo at Saban Hare Stadium at 20. Yes, Bob, we do listen. We have heard every time you bring that up. We have acknowledged it
Bob.
every
refreshing.
time.
I'm trying to bear there again. It was a lot of going on. There was a lot of excitement, confusion. There was a lot of talking over each other, so I couldn't really understand what Andy was saying at times. Just saying. But I'm still trying to figure out what A&M scored. How many points in 28 seconds? 11 points in 28 seconds. How in the world do you let that happen?
Yep. Auburn trailed by 8 points with a minute to go. Keyshawn Hall had 7 straight points in the final minute. Hey, man, who's got Keyshawn? But then that wasn't even the one. I mean, Auburn had this game relatively comfortably in the second half. Auburn got outscored in a span of 6 minutes and 14 seconds, John. Auburn got outscored 33-6. 33. Now, if that 33-6 score happened in the first 6 minutes and 14 seconds of the game, I guarantee you that picture would look a lot different at the end. There'd be a lot fewer people out there. So, yeah, interesting stuff. That's kind of what we've been talking about on the program. I am interested in knowing when you get all of these texts and all these contributions from your team of researchers.
Yes.
I am interested in when Gurn Jr. got the text saying, "Hey, Gurn, make sure to put this up on the screen when I call for it." What was that? 1 o'clock, Gurn? Was it 2 o'clock? Something like that.
Guilty. Yeah. I said, hey, man.
Forget about it. John is a crowd aficionado. Hey, how many people are looking here? Yeah.
I know everybody wanted to see, did the shot go off in time? I'm going, look at those 2 sections. They're pretty empty over there. I don't know.
That is surprising.
Just think, Barry, if those sections would have been full, maybe that shot would have counted. Maybe he would have shot it a little quicker. But, to shoot that, there was 1 second on the clock. For that guy to catch it, turn around, and shoot it in a second? Man.
Evidently not.
Yeah.
Evidently not. It was actually less. It was 0.6 of a second. You can. I've seen before, and I've heard before, and we've used it on our broadcast before. You can catch and shoot in 0.3 of a second. If you got like 1/10 of a second left on the clock, there ain't no way. You're not contacting the basketball and releasing it to the bucket in 1/10 of a second. So if you're looking for that one to win the game, you've already lost.
Was it?
Less than a second, you can do it.
Was the clock operator a little quick on the button?
Yeah, come on, buddy. Ease up just a little bit. I mean, you don't put your finger on the button. You wait until then you reach over and you tap it. You don't have your finger on the button and go, No. Take it easy. Lay off the caffeine a little bit.
That's a lot of pressure, Barry. I mean, it's kind of like the holder for a field goal. He never gets any credit unless he bobbles it. I mean, it's always the kicker getting the credit. I mean, how about the clock operator? That guy's under a lot of pressure to make sure he punches the button at the exact moment the kid touches the ball.
It cannot be the same clock operator who was at Jordan Hare for the kick 6. 1 second left on the clock. That clock operator went, bam, This guy last night was like, I got it. Right on. Ease up. Give him a moment here.
I assume that the clock operator is an SEC official as well.
I would not assume that. But then again, I would not have assumed that a state trooper flew out to the Rose Bowl with the Alabama.
It's not like Lou Verne and Highland Home playing and some parents running the clock. Kind of like parents that are line judges in girls high school volleyball. That have been criticized for being a little tight on calling some of those balls in and out for the opposing team. Cannot believe I was actually, questioned about my ability to call may it be a line judgment in volleyball.
Yeah. Yeah. The Obs are losing by 7. That's a cover, right? Sorry. Yeah, I got it. Here you go. Yeah. I could just see that happen.
I was told, Barry, after a couple of times after I got, the feel of it, you got to make the call and live with it. You got to act like there's no doubt at all. And boy, I was kind of like that Australian rules football guy. I mean, whoa.
Yeah, the guy in the lab coat giving the double six guns. Yeah, you got to look
ball
like,
is out.
Yeah, that's good. No, of course not. Same thing with that putt. You cannot look surprised when that 20-footer rolls in. You got to be like, I thought that's where it was going to roll.
Yeah. So I don't know. The clock operator, it's a little. So in saying, I know we have talked extensively about the Auburn basketball game last night. Interesting finish, but there were some other games. Georgia, who I believe was undefeated going into the game against Florida last night.
Yeah, we got to watch a little bit of that at the team meal up here in Jonesboro. Watch that a bit. Georgia had lost once this year. They were undefeated in the league, but they went into Gainesville. Florida, the defending national champions, been struggling. They came in 9-5. Florida beat the socks off of Georgia. Yeah. They won that one by 15. Covered the 9.5, by the way.
They did.
Florida's now 10-5. Georgia's 13-2. Tennessee beat Texas 85-71, and South Carolina got off to a huge lead at LSU and ended up winning it by 10 in Baton Rouge. LSU, they've had a good start. They're 12-3 now. Tonight in the SEC, you've got Alabama Vandy at 8 o'clock. That's on ESPN2 as part of an SEC doubleheader. The first ESPN2 game tonight's at 6. Missouri at Kentucky. Alabama is number 13. They're 11-3. Vanderbilt is number 11 under head coach Mark Byington. They are 14-0. Vanderbilt favored by 4.5 against the Tide in that one. Oklahoma and Mississippi State tonight at 6 on the SEC Network. Arkansas and Ole Miss in Oxford at 8 on the SEC Network.
Barry, would it kill us if we started these games at 5:50, 5:45, just to make sure the second half of the doubleheader doesn't start at 8:30?
No, so you're thinking wrong. You're thinking as a television viewer. You want people to be able to get off work, maybe head straight over to the arena, maybe go home just in time to change out of your coat and tie into your Auburn or Alabama gear, and then get to the arena in time to buy one of those overpriced sub sandwiches or buy one of those overpriced soft drinks or something like that before you take a seat. If you're at 5:45, they're hustling in, they're getting their seat, and they're missing out on a round of popcorn or pretzels. You got to
I don't know, because I'd love to know the percentage of SEC games on a Tuesday or Wednesday night that actually tip at 8 o'clock.
Less than 50%. Less than 50%. 2 games today at 6, 2 games tonight at 8. Those 2 games at night. Alabama Vanderbilt, if you get into that live coverage of that game on ESPN2, and you get into it with more than 17 minutes showing in the first half, you've done all right. Because you're going to miss the first 5 minutes, just about.
Well, that just bugs me. And there again, it goes back to how many timeouts are called in the last 2 minutes. Play is so slow. I mean, look, I've made a lot of suggestions, mainly in baseball, that they've adapted. Finally, they've gone, this guy might have some good ideas. Let's try it. Well, I don't know what it is about basketball. They will not take my advice when it comes to basketball.
And here's the other thing that I've noticed lately, especially ESPN games. Now, I mean, I do ESPN Plus. It's a little bit different, but ESPN games take forever. And especially lately because that they're going to spend a little time talking about, hey, ESPN's coverage of the semifinals of the college football playoff kickoff on Thursday. You're going to see that. And, hey, who do you like, Miami or Ole Miss? Meanwhile, everybody in the stands is waiting. Hey, let's go. How long is this?
I'm tired of the 1-and-1s. I'm tired of the fouls. But I could go on and on about that. I'm tired about where the media sits in Coleman Coliseum.
Just
I don't know.
tired.
Maybe one day.
Man,
Maybe
he's
one
just
day. I'm not
tired.
giving up. I will say that. I am not giving up.
Yes, we have got lots more still to come, including the Phantoms Daily Talk.
Coming up.
It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Located just 8 miles north of Alabama's state capital, Capitol Hill features 3 18-hole championship courses. With more than 1,500 acres of golf and nature, the pure magnitude of this facility is amazing and allows each course to be drastically different from the others. Capitol Hill also features an innovative 360-degree driving range 400 yards in diameter. Capitol Hill offers a fully stocked pro shop with the latest equipment and apparel. Great food and beverages in the clubhouse can be enjoyed both before and after your round. Get your group together and hit the trail. Go to rtjgolf.com/Capitol Hill for tee times and more information.
March 4th, 2022, Wieden Kennedy from Michelob Ultra. Ad ID MU200330.
It doesn't matter if you're running drills at the park, playing pickup on a Saturday, or sinking the final putt. When you compete with your friends with Michelob Ultra on the line, competition isn't that friendly. The trash talk, next level, and the stakes, oh, those are crystal clear. With only 95 calories and superior smooth taste, it's the ultimate trophy. Superior is worth playing for. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025, Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Prattville Carpet is the most trusted name in flooring in the River region. Ray Bowles and his staff have an extensive line of Mohawk, stain-resistant carpeting in all the latest styles and colors. Prattville Carpet also has hardwood, vinyl, and ceramic tile for all of your flooring needs. Professionally installed at the absolute lowest prices. Take advantage of cash and carry vinyl plank at just $239 a foot. Call them today to set up your free measurement for your home, office, lake house, hunting camp, or wherever you need flooring. 285-8117. That's 285-8117, or drop by 2201 Cobbs Ford Road in Prattville for Prattville Carpet. All right, welcome back in. 26 minutes past the hour here on a Wednesday. Great interview with C.J. Duncan earlier today. If you didn't catch it, well, no problem. You can go back and watch it and listen to it at your convenience, on your time. And that's what's so beautiful about this format. You can, there again, view and listen when it's convenient for you. We're on Yellowhammer News and yellowhammernews.com. Video content, a write-up about the show each and every afternoon. Also on Facebook, on YouTube, on Spotify, on Apple, on X, on Instagram. So many ways to check us out, to listen, to watch. And we really appreciate so many people doing that throughout the day. Really appreciate that. And man, the numbers that we see with people that do watch us and listen throughout the day are very encouraging. We really appreciate that. It's amazing, Barry. I mean, you know, we were so patterned for so many years to, okay, this is when we're on. This is when you have to listen to us. It's either now or never. And with this new format, you can watch or listen when it's convenient for you, and really appreciate that. And the numbers certainly tell us that's what a lot of our listeners and viewers do.
And there's a lot of different motivations in that. Some people might say, can you believe Longshore said that? He did not say that. Yeah, he did. No, he couldn't have. Nobody would say that. Well, you watch, you know, let's go back. It's a long way to the top if you want to walk and roll show, episode number 342. He did say that. Look about there. See, there he is right there. He said that. See, I told you. Man, I can't believe he said that. I never would have thought he would have said that and everything. And also, you know, like the interview we just had with C.J. Duncan and our buddy Chris at the Hertz counter. Chris says, man, that's one of the best interviews you guys have ever had. And I agree. C.J. Duncan is money in the bank, but you want to watch it again? You say, oh, man, I missed the C.J. Duncan interview. That's okay. You can go back and watch it again.
That's right.
It's, you know, I love the technology that allows us to do that. In the past, when on radio, way back in the day, and I was on remote or John was on remote, I was with Troy somewhere way back. It used to be I used to have to sit with the phone to my ear over and on and on and on. Now, I mean, this
boy,
is not only does it sound 500 times better, but it's about 500 times easier to do this when I'm on the road too. So that's cool.
Yeah, that is true. You don't have to worry about the power level going down when the sun sets either, huh? 19.
Yeah, we were broadcasting to the squirrels in the parking lot sometimes back in those days.
Okay, Bear, we've touched on this game a lot today for a variety of reasons.
Yeah.
And it just happened to be the Phantom's daily dog. There were a lot of mood swings in this game, ups and downs, highs and lows, cover, not
topsy-turvy.
cover.
Yeah.
Woo, man, got a little crazy.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, as they say, when the final whistle sounded and the officials made the official outcome, A&M came out on top.
It's in all the record books now.
Yeah.
It's official. Now, whether that whistle came a little bit too early, whether that horn actually sounded after the ball left Keyshawn Murphy's fingertips, doesn't matter anymore. Doesn't matter. It is final.
Yeah. And to go even deeper, Barry, it wouldn't have mattered if Auburn had made that bucket or not. I mean, it would have been great if they would have. I mean, I would have loved it for all of my Auburn brethren out there.
Both of them. Texas A&M wins over Auburn 90-88. It is official, and that was the subject of yesterday's Phantom Daily Dog. What was the line we were operating under yesterday?
Auburn was laying 7.5 in that game.
Oh,
thought 7.5. What? Way too many. Now, I know Auburn got a big lead. A&M came out hot, had a nice lead. Auburn came back. They had a nice lead, double digits one time, I believe. Then A&M went on this incredible run in 28 seconds or whatever, 36 points to Auburn 6. I mean, it's unbelievable. But you know what? We're not here to break down the stat sheet.
You got one thing that matters. Yeah. Oh, but – see, local man, that shot shouldn't have counted. Or, well, you can't exactly, give me that. He is looking at one thing. And a 33-6 run or an 11-point stretch in a minute, you don't care about that. He is looking at one thing. It either is or it isn't. It either did or it did not.
90-88 says it all. We were catching 7.5, didn't even need it. And I think we said yesterday, it'd be nice if Auburn won the game. We just don't think they can win by 7.5. Well, they didn't
do either.
So another winner, 2-0 with the Phantom's Daily Dog this week. We had a winner in the NBA on Monday night. Is the Detroit Pistons were a home dog of 2.5. They won by 30.
They did, yes.
So 2-0 with the Phantom's Daily Dog going into tonight. And, Barry, we're going to go back to the SEC. Okay. Men's basketball tonight. Right.
Yeah.
Now, I've heard all these stories about, well, it's a hard place to play, and it's different, and it's kind of quirky, and the teams sit at either end of the floor, and, it's just a different setup. Yeah, okay, great. The shooting, the sight lines are different.
The bench areas are different.
That's kind of like, when the Dolphins go to play the Packers and it's 20 degrees, the Dolphins aren't used to it. And the Packers are? You're telling me they sit out there in 20-degree weather for 8 hours a day? No. They're in an indoor practice facility, 72 degrees, and some GA or whatever's got their car warmed up so when they get in it, they're not freezing. I've never understood that. Well, Green Bay, I don't know if the Dolphins can handle that 20-degree weather. Yeah, okay, whatever. Same thing about Memorial Gym. Not buying it. Doesn't matter to me. Now, Vanderbilt, I understand they got this, nice little thing going. They got a nice little win streak. They're winning. Who have they played?
Ooh, really? I love it. I love it. One of my favorite Longshoreisms. I mean, who did Cam Pedway get all those 1,000 yards against?
Exactly.
That type of thing.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah. Love it. Love it.
I really, come on. So
Lipscomb, Eastern Kentucky, Arkansas, Pine Bluff, Texas Southern, Central Arkansas, New Haven.
New Haven. That's in Connecticut, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think. Heck, I don't know.
So, of all those teams you just reeled off, Barry, who would just, I don't want you to have to, look into it, but just off the top of your head, who's the toughest team Vanderbilt's played so far?
I can tell you right now, they've only beaten one ranked team this year.
Yeah.
And that was number 20, St. Mary's, which was a great Bing Crosby movie with Barry Fitzgerald and Ingrid Bergman. That was the Bells of St. Mary's.
Is that where Chuck Schick went to school?
No, that was St. Copius.
St. Copius,
something. I don't know. Yeah, but that's it. That's it. I mean, they've beaten Memphis. Memphis is terrible.
Yeah.
They've beaten Wake Forest. Wake Forest is no good. I mean, they've beaten some names you would remember.
Okay.
But,
all right, so if you look at Bama's, and they haven't won them all. It is true. It's a fact. You can check it out. But I would say the level of competition that Alabama has faced so far, a little more difficult, a little tougher than what the Commodores have faced.
Agreed.
Just spitballing.
Agreed, yes.
And, Bama's been on the road a lot in the pre-SEC schedule. I could go on and on. I don't want to bore the audience with all these worthless details, but you're telling me Vanderbilt is a 4.5-point favorite tonight? Huh. Vanderbilt's ranked 11th. Who ranks these teams? Okay. They've won a lot of games.
Alabama has beaten number 5 St. John's. They've beaten number 8 Illinois.
Yep.
They've beaten UNLV. Bad, by the way.
Yep.
They lose. Their losses are to number 1 Arizona, number 12 Gonzaga, number 2 Purdue. So, yeah.
Okay, so I think you know where we're heading here tonight.
I think that's a valid observation, to be honest.
We are going to grab the 4.5 tonight and take the Crimson Tide on the SEC road, which, okay, I get it. Winning on the SEC road is tough.
Vanderbilt,
unless you're Bucky McMillan and the Texas A&M Aggies.
All right, gratis ob jab there. But don't you know, Phantom, that Memorial Coliseum in Nashville, Tennessee has been a house of horrors historically for the Crimson Tide basketball team? The point spread doesn't know that. The basketball does not know that. I better not go in here because Alabama's had some difficulty in the past here at this gymnasium. They don't know.
We're going to go with the Tide tonight, plus the 4.5. Maybe they don't win it, but I don't see Vanderbilt winning this game by more than 4.5 points tonight. So the Phantom's daily dog is the Crimson Tide plus the 4.5 at Vanderbilt tonight.
Okay. All right. That's solid. I like that. I do like that.
That's where
Vanderbilt being led by former Troy, the best player on the Vanderbilt team. He's been mentioned as an SEC Player of the Year. Former Troy point guard Duke Miles from Montgomery, Alabama.
Really? Where did he play high school ball?
Lee, or whatever they call Lee now. Yeah. Really good player. Vanderbilt is his 4th school, but yeah, Vanderbilt.
So you mentioned Missouri at Kentucky at 6. That's the first ESPN2 game. You got Oklahoma at Mississippi State also at 6 on SEC Network. Bama Vandy following the Missouri Kentucky game. So 8:10, 8:15 ish. Be ready for that. You might have to go out to the driveway and listen to Chris for a couple of minutes until the broadcast. I might want to do that anyway. Brian Pasink and Chris Stewart. And then Arkansas and Ole Miss also. That follows the Oklahoma-Mississippi State game. Arkansas and Ole Miss from Oxford at 8 o'clock. So that is your SEC schedule tonight in men's basketball.
All right.
A good one.
I like that. It's getting to be that point now that the college football season has reached a crescendo and is going to start winding down, where we're going to have some really good games. Number 1, Arizona plays tonight. Number 5, Purdue plays tonight. Number 9, BYU plays tonight. Number 4, UConn. If you don't have, what is it, BBC America and the Law and Order reruns,
yeah.
it's kind of a nice night for some college basketball. And, of course, you can check out the radio broadcast of Troy and Arkansas State tonight in Montgomery as well.
That's exactly right. You can certainly do that. So there's a lot of good action out there for you, and looking forward to it. Also, when we return, just to kind of get you in and get you settled for what's happening in the NFL this weekend. And there again, you got to look at your schedule card because there's games on multiple days when we get into the wild card weekend. And I know, and I'll say this before we really get into the deep dive, probably on Friday, Ralph Michaels will join us to talk a lot about these wild card games. The Phantom will probably as well. And I'm not hitching my horse to this, but I will say the history tells us when it comes to the NFL playoff, just pick the team you think is going to win the game. And it's amazing how many times they cover the spread.
But you see this normally in the wild card games, some convoluted spreads. And there's a couple of them. Packers favored by 1 over the Bears. Buffalo favored by 1 over the Jaguars in Jacksonville. I mean, some of these wild card games close to pick 'em.
I'm a little surprised Jacksonville is a home dog. More on that later.
Okay.
The one that really caught my attention, the Rams at the Panthers. The Rams are laying double digits.
10.5 is what I've got.
In Charlotte. The Rams lost in Charlotte like 2 weeks ago.
There is only one team in the playoffs with a losing record, and that's the Carolina Panthers.
So I'll go back to the statement I made. Just pick the team you think is going to win the game.
Solid.
So do the Rams win by more than 10.5 in Charlotte? Something to chew on, but I don't want to give everything away. Just
tomorrow, the college football playoff continues with the Fiesta. Friday, it's the Peach. Saturday, you got a couple of wild cards. Sunday, you got a couple more. And then Monday night, you've got wild card NFL action. So there's about to be football for 5 straight days.
And I love a Monday night wild card game. I like that they've figured that out.
Yeah.
But tomorrow, Barry, we will have a thorough breakdown. I was going to say extensive breakdown. Which is better, extensive or thorough?
Thorough, extensive. Sometimes it's blah 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 blah. Thorough means we're going to get into it. We're after content over just strictly length and girth.
I've got a lot of interesting info about tomorrow. Well, actually, both games that I plan on sharing. But there's one thing about the game between Ole Miss and Miami that I went, whoa. I had to reread it. I went, am I really reading this correctly? We'll share that tomorrow because I thought, man, that's something good to know. So we'll get into that as well tomorrow. A college football playoff semifinal game that does not include the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Again,
23.9 million people watch them get humiliated against Indiana. How is that going to sink in during the offseason?
Nobody is going to watch them tomorrow or Friday. 0. Second straight year that Alabama does not make the college football semifinals, and this will be the 5th straight year that Alabama will not win a national championship.
Was the last year was it the COVID season they won the Natty?
That may have been the best Alabama team ever. That's a dirty, rotten shame because that was only SEC games that year. You played 10 SEC games, and that was it. Empty stadiums. They were strong, but nobody.
Do you think? You ever wondered why Saban was so anxious, so eager to make sure they played football that year? I always thought about that. He knew he had a good team. We're playing. Hey, Greg, we're playing, Greg. You make this work.
Stay with us. More to come in just a moment. We may just take this commercial break. This is our last commercial break, I believe, of the show. When we come back, it'll be our Gurn Jr. Victoryland 777 topic wheel on Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Marguerite's Exquisite Jewelry is Central Alabama's best-known jewelry store. Their location at 8163 Vaughn Road in Peppertree is conveniently located adjacent to Chappie's Deli. At Marguerite's, they have every jewelry item imaginable because they make it. They really make it. From rings, necklaces, bracelets, earrings, and much, much more. Marguerite's can also repair, clean, and rework any jewelry item that you want to bring back to life. Whether you're on a budget or have no budget at all, Marguerite's has all types of jewelry for everyone. Go by and see them today or call 270-0074. The Montgomery Regional Airport is getting better the more you use it. MGM offers multiple nonstop daily flights to Atlanta, Charlotte, Dallas-Fort Worth, and Washington's Reagan National Airport via Delta and American Airlines. And beginning this April, MGM will offer daily nonstop flights to Houston's Intercontinental Airport via United Airlines. All of these cities offer easy connections to destinations all over the country and all over the world. Make travel more cost-effective and less stressful when you utilize your Montgomery Regional Airport. MGM, you can get there from here.
Don't miss your chance to win big at Victoryland Casino. Play the latest, hottest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. Don't miss out on your free play. Stop by Player Rewards today and check out this month's exciting free play promotions. Come see why our players keep coming back. You'll have more fun at Victoryland Casino, where you can be a winner too. Victoryland Casino, located off I-85 exit 22, Shorter, Alabama. Must be 21 or older.
Okay, welcome back in, everybody. About 15 minutes to the top of the hour. Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News and yellowhammernews.com. Brought to you by our good friends at Bama Bud and Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Man, the River Region Straw chat line, hey, good one, Barry, length and girth. And it's interesting that you said that, Barry, because I'm just scanning around. Former Auburn coach Hugh Freeze posts first golf score since firing. Are there people out there that really are digging around to see if Freeze has posted a score?
Yes. Those are the same people who say, you know, Bruce Pearl lost his last home game at Neville Arena, and they've lost the first two SEC games this year. So
now, Bruce, let me give you a couple of advice. I mean, obviously that was a hot button topic. So I don't know why you're trying to feed the flame.
Come on.
But I played golf since I was about 8 years old. I do have a USGA established handicap. But here's the trick, Hugh. Once you get the handicap that you want, you don't need to be posting scores as regularly as you did to get that handicap that you wanted. Say you want a 10. Once you get the 10, how many times you going to post that 74 you shot? Because that 10's going to start dropping.
Yeah.
So, Hugh, get that. So when you're playing out there with your buddies and you're trying to pick the teams and you go, well, man, I'm a 10 handicap. Well, I don't know. You shot 74 last time we played. I don't know.
I was a hot streak. That ain't me. I was way over my head. Yeah.
Now, I know golf is a gentleman's game and you kind of self-officiate, self-referee.
Don't count that, Spalding.
Yeah.
Don't count that, Danny.
You know, and I'm with that. I'm a traditionalist, a loyalist when it comes to golf. You got to do it the right way.
Put me down for a 4. Yeah.
Yeah. I found out long ago that if my golf friends, that if they're not posting scores on a regular basis, then why should I? Just saying. You know, there's some places there that out there in the golf world that if you don't post a score, they'll post it for you, meaning even par. So you better post your score. Yeah. So
now, a couple of things real quick, and probably some of these may be on the Gurn Jr. Victoryland 777 topic wheel. You may have missed this. There are 6 undefeated men's college basketball teams.
Okay.
Which is crazy. That's the same number of unbeatens through 9 weeks this year as were in the last 5 years combined.
Whoa. Repeat that. 5 years combined?
In the last 5 years combined, after 9 weeks. In the last 5 years combined through 9 weeks, there have been 6 undefeated teams. There are 6 undefeated teams through 9 weeks this year. Arizona, Michigan, Iowa State, Nebraska, and Vanderbilt, plus Miami of Ohio. Believe it or not, they haven't been to the NCAA tournament in 20 years. That's something to look for. Also, you might have missed this. The Indianapolis Colts were terrible down the stretch. I think they started 7-2. They ended up 7-9 and out of the playoffs. Riley Leonard got the start at quarterback for the Colts. Phillip Rivers is done. And they lost to the Texans. The Texans, I think, have won 9 in a row. Okay? Big deal, right? But that was a significant loss because, John, that means that former Notre Dame quarterbacks have now lost 25 consecutive NFL starts over the last 14 years.
Not good.
I mean, you got Jimmy Clausen, Deshaun Kaiser, who played for the Browns, and nobody remembers that, Ian Book, and now Riley Leonard, a former Notre Dame quarterback, has not started and won an NFL game since Brady Quinn for the Chiefs in Week 13 of 2012.
Ooh.
And, Notre Dame quarterbacks have lost 25 straight starts. That's crazy. All right. Here we go.
That's the numbers don't lie.
25 in a row. The Notre Dame has been the kiss of death for NFL franchises who have them as quarterbacks. Okay. Here we go. Your Victoryland 777 topic wheel presented by Victoryland 777 Casinos. Exit 22 off I-85 in Shorter, Alabama, where you can be a winner too. You know the deal. This is all Gurn Jr.'s research. We don't know a thing about it. Old man. We don't know a thing about that either.
Man.
Yeah, we can't relate. Oh, that's right. He turned 50 yesterday. That's hard to think. He's eligible for the senior tour, which, like the Weed Eater Bowl, John will always call the senior tour.
Always.
The PGA Tour Champions Circuit. It's not the Weed Whacker Bowl. Yep. Now, how should I say this? Tiger has lived a hard 50.
Yeah, he has.
I mean, he's had an eventful 50 years, both socially, at several breakfast places around the southeastern United States with some of the serving staff, but also, an Achilles rupture. He's had a car accident, back fusion surgery, hip fusion surgery. He looks like Steve Austin out there now, but he doesn't have the.
Does he have a bionic eye?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think he does that? He can barely. He's got a physical therapist, a chiropractor, and an acupuncturist and all this just to get out there and swing a club, John. If you were Tiger, would you kind of mess up your legacy by limping out there in the senior tour?
I don't know. Now, he's doing this little made-for-TV golf thing. I think it's on ESPN tonight, where they're playing like indoor golf, and there are these teams and whatnot.
I saw that. Yeah, we talked about it.
I think Tiger's doing that tonight, but maybe the majors on the senior tour.
Yeah.
I don't see him playing, I don't even know any of the senior events except the majors.
He's going to get beat by Fred Funk or somebody like that, and they think, oh, Tiger. Let us just remember it back when you were winning all those majors. Okay.
Yeah.
That's one down.
All right, one down, but I'd still watch him. If Tiger was in the senior tour or Champions Tour, I'd still watch him.
Yeah.
Yeah. If Tiger's playing, I'm watching.
Even if he's playing badly.
Yeah.
Shocking fire.
That's a new color, Mary.
Oh, yeah.
That's a new color today.
This has got to be John Harbaugh. This has got to be Shocking Fire. It's like Shocking Pink, who did the original version of Venus. 18 years. John Harbaugh fired with the Ravens. You watch, John. You watch.
Okay.
By the end of the week, by the time Friday when you're live at Stivers in Prattville,
Yep.
he'll have another job.
Aren't the Falcons looking for a coach?
Falcons, Commanders, Giants, Browns, That's a dumb move. I mean, he's been to the playoffs.
He got Super Bowl coach. I mean, man,
yeah,
how about cutthroat?
Yeah. That's it's.
You know
shocking.
what? I mean, I'm just saying.
What
Kalen DeBoer, you
thinking?
better start winning some championships, or you could be going down Harbaugh lane.
I thought you were about to say, like we heard with the Michigan job. Kalen DeBoer, he might end up getting that Ravens job. No. Okay, that's a shocking.
I like the green color too. The green panel's
fire.
Good.
Yes,
I like the green panel.
The
all right, let's spin away here.
Okay,
See what's coming up next.
I got it. We got 4 right on schedule.
Yep, that's
right.
And yellow. Odd dealing. Odd couple I've heard before.
We've put that in relation to us. Yeah, this is odd dealing. Oh, yeah. DeMond Williams Jr. is a very talented quarterback for head coach Jed Fish at the University of Washington. He agreed to return for 2026. He had signed a contract, to return to the Huskies for the money that he wanted. Now, all of a sudden, he says he's going in the transfer portal. Here's the big thing about that. Washington, the University of Washington, wants to enforce his signed contract. It's a contract. It's signed.
Yep.
John and I never saw one, but anyway, a signed contract. That's a legally binding thing. But also, they are going to complain to the Big Ten that obviously DeMond Williams was tampered with. Yep. Signed a contract and then 3 days later says, no, I've got to look for my future, which means that somebody else came in, tampered, and offered him more money. You're not supposed to be able to do that, but nobody ever really enforces it because every school wants to reserve their right to keep tampering with other schools.
That's true.
This is going to be big. This will be a litmus test for how enforceable these NIL contracts are. And he's a good player, really good. So,
man, we got to get some NIL enforcement staff. I like that, Barry. That's a good. I like that. I'd be willing to do it. All right, 3 more to go. Let's spin away. Blue, red, yellow is what we've got left on the Victoryland 777 topic wheel. You can be a winner too. Victoryland, open 24/7, 365. Ooh, yellow.
Different takes. This is one of the things that has built our career together.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Tyler Loop, he missed the field goal at the end that would have sent the Ravens to the if he made the field goal, Mike Tomlin was going to be fired. He misses the field goal, and so John Harbaugh's retired. Lamar Jackson said, I talked to him during the game because I was ticked when he kicked the ball out of bounds. And then he said, I felt like it was going to come down to him winning the game for us at the end. And he missed it. Doggone it. I was kind of ticked off at him, and he missed it. Derrick Henry, he said this, I feel for him. Keep his spirits up. God, the story after this is going to go great for him because God wanted him to put him in this position to use him as an example, to something that's adversity. And I just can't wait to see him overcoming on the other side.
I love
just
the
trust
positive
God's
attitude.
plan.
It's all about a positive attitude. Love it.
Derrick Henry, they say he's 32.
Nah.
He and Barry Sanders are now the only running backs in NFL history to have 5 seasons of over 1,500 yards rushing. He rushed for over 1,500 yards this year, John. He's in like his 12th year. Normally, running backs are in wheelchairs.
Well, Barry, since it is
he
the
never
NFL,
gets old.
I'm not going to go with who did he get all these yards against? I'm not going there because it is the NFL.
It is a physical marvel.
But my hat's off to Derrick Henry, one of the best. No doubt about it. All right, couple of more to go. Blue and red.
Where have you gone, Derrick Henry? Alabama Nation turns its lonely eyes to you.
You ain't kidding. Boy, you can wear 2 or 22. It doesn't matter. Just come back.
Kicked out? Wait a minute. I got kicked out?
Who got kicked out? What happened here?
Oh, yeah. Kevin Durant, we may have the video, hits the game winner for the Rockets at the Horn to beat the Suns. And he says it means a little bit more because the Suns got rid of him, basically. Now, Durant is a great player, one of the top 10 players in NBA history. He says, my first time that I've ever gotten kicked out of a place. Now, he says it feels good to play against a team that booted you out of the building and scapegoated you for all the problems they had. When you play against a former team, you got a chip on your shoulder. He was there for 2.5 years, an all-star and everything. Now, Durant is a great player. He may not be a great team player because he has got to have the ball in his hands. He is a scorer, but, he hit the jumper at the buzzer. I saw the clip of it. It was not easy. But, there's a little bit of, jab the knife into the ribs a little bit there. Yeah,
Barry, we call that gamesmanship.
Yeah, that felt good. They booted me out.
So what?
I stuck it to them at the end.
When they just wave as you're leaving the floor. Yeah.
Hi, see you later.
Okay, one more to go. It's the blue panel. Got to spin it to make it official. Ejected. Not to be confused with the Alice Cooper song, Elected.
Yeah.
How did I pull that one out? Boy, he was hot. I saw this. Yeah.
Clippers and the Warriors.
He was not happy. Watch this. The players have to take him off the floor. It's usually the other way around.
They called a foul on Steph. Yeah, look at Steve Kerr. Man, he ain't happy with that referee.
He is P.O. Look at these guys on the floor filming the whole thing. Oh,
here we go. Yeah, they are. Yeah.
There's nothing like a floor seat in the NBA, I got to tell you. It's awesome. Even if it's the Pelicans, it's still good.
NBA referees, they got the union. They don't care. Blah, 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 whatever. Shut up. Get out of here,
Ooh, what did you say? Wait a minute.
He said, I disagree vehemently with your read on that situation.
Wait a minute. I think I'm a pretty good
that's the goaltending call. They did not call goaltending there. So there's
okay, so look, Barry, think about it. The NBA refs don't blow those whistles very often. Sometimes they kind of get lost and fall asleep and don't pay attention.
It's a long year for them too,
I mean, hey, if they blow a whistle, everybody's going, what? Well, what's going on here? All right, before we leave, Barry, we're going to have a great clip today. It's already been produced. You had mentioned about somebody maybe tossing some liquid at the refs as they left the floor last night.
Yeah, over his shoulder so he wouldn't get seen or nobody would detect it. Yeah.
Make sure that you check it out. It'll be loaded up here later this morning, Instagram,
I don't doubt
X,
it.
all this good stuff. We always have a clip of the show that we post every day. They've already put it together. Because I didn't see it, but when you mentioned it, obviously somebody went and dug it up. Our great staff there at Yellowhammer News has put it together.
Man, those are motivated folks.
It is ready to be uploaded. So we'll play it tomorrow on the show, but you'll be able to get a preview of it later today, probably in the next 30 minutes on social media. So be on the outlook for our clip of the day today. They're always good. This one might be a little extra good.
Yeah, more to come tomorrow. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.